holding hands over here. Isn't that nice? That's like the couple we had last night celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary. They held hands all night long, Mr. Showalter. They had the same room in the hotel they had 25 years. They did everything the same, you know, just before they were retiring. He said, just think, dear, he said, 25 years ago tonight you were ashamed. Tonight I'm ashamed. She said, yes. She said, 25 years ago tonight you couldn't wait till I got my stockings off. He says, honey, tonight you got time to knit a pair. And these nice people have 5 children, which is very nice. That's either a Catholic with lousy rhythm or an awful sexy Protestant, one or the other. You know, this is kind of unusual tonight. Instead of all the married people, we've got more bachelors in this group than I've ever seen here. More over here. You know what a bachelor is? That's a man who's been lucky in love. Life, liberty, and the happiness of pursuit, Miss Davis. Bachelor's a man that goes to work every morning from a different direction, Mr. Nosey. Don't laugh, you ain't home yet, dear. Oh, my goodness. Good evening. Good evening. That's the most beautiful Jansen I've seen this season, may I say. Any man still looking at me is either a complete idiot or queer, one or the other, I'll tell you that. Very striking young lady over there. Here's one for the lady. How about the Academy Award song, Gigi? Would you like to hear that? You in the mood for some... Wee wee? Straight out there here. You laugh. I'm right in front of her. You... No, you can't say anything. That's right, too, sir. He's telling you. No, you have to be careful. I have rabbit ears, as you know, of course. Unfortunately, it's the only thing I have, like a rabbit, too. You know? We have bachelors we almost forgot about. One of the most eligible bachelors here in Virginia, Mr. Kenilworth, comes from a wonderful family, comes from a long line of bachelors. I've known the whole family. Real old Southern family. They're so old they've been condemned, as a matter of fact. We're going to do one for all the rebels here now, because we got Florida sitting over here. And we've got Jacksonville, and we've got St. Petersburg. That's the land of the living dead and the newlyweds. In case you haven't been there. You ever been down there, Larkin? You ever been down there? The sidewalks all slope up, you know. Everybody sits around on their fat benches, that sort of thing, you know. We're going to do one for all the rebels. This is for everybody south of the Mason-Dixon line. You Yankees can sort of sit there and stare at each other for a minute. We'll confederate to hold down 48 the way it should have been. Save your Confederate money. The South will rise again. They're the boys in gray breaking down Broadway, and that you can depend. Save your Confederate money. The South will rise again. Bless Smith, Julep, yes indeedy, Whitney's cotton gin. If at first we don't succeed, we do it over again. Gee, that's a joke. If we don't secede, we do it over again. You know, we didn't lose that war. We're just waiting for supply. How about that, boys? How about that? That's what is known as a strategic retreat. You better believe, son. You better believe. I can see you folks don't think I'm a rebel. I want you to know I take that rebel stuff so serious, I don't even get out of bed if the wind's blowing from the north. It's too dang cold.
And believe this, Colonel, my whole family every morning gets up and sings the middle part, the Goodbye Dolly Gray. You remember that one? I'll be there when the bugle calls, standing to the cannon with the 3 brass balls. You remember that one? You never heard that, Art? That's one of the most famous Southern songs. Goodbye Dolly Gray. Believe this, my grandpappy used to sing that to my grandmammy every morning. And she used to cry like a baby. Goodbye Dolly Gray. Her name was Alice. You know, I'm going to tell some of you Pittsburgh boys, you missed the best part of the South when you come down here. You know what it is? The best part of the South, them beautiful Southern belles and them Southern draws, the way they talk. And they never lose them Southern draws. You can take them to all them high-class Yankee towns like South Chicago, Hamtramck, Michigan, Brooklyn, South Philadelphia, Shaky Heights. They never lose them Southern draws. I went with a Richmond girl once 3.5 years before I get her draws off one time. It was a shakedown, but I made it. And I'll tell you something else, too, boy. The guy that said there was nothing as uncomfortable in bed as a cracker, he ain't never been to Georgia. It may be crummy, but it is good, Bob. It is good. Did you hear about the little Petersburg girl had such a slow Southern drawl? By the time she could tell a fella she wasn't that kind of a girl, she was. You know, my favorite story about the Southern drawl is the one about the girl who's way out in the western part of the state, and one of them self-appointed backwoods preachers is haranguing this group of girls about the evils of sex. And he says, finally, girls, in closing, do not let 1 hour of pleasure ruin your future happiness. Any questions? And this cute little Southern belle stands up and says, how y'all make it last an hour? What I like about the South. Not yet, I'll tell you what. You know, any of you Pittsburgh folks, any of you Pennsylvanians, you ever come up and ask one of these rebels what to think of a Yankee? You know, they talk so dang slow, by the time they tell you you've been there so long, you agree with them. Then well, if you're going to lay it, that's all right. That didn't sound like a tenor. It sounded like he got caught in a folding chair, didn't it? Remember the one about the... Remember the one about the 2 chickens, and one chicken says to the other, here comes that cross-eyed rooster again. The other chicken says, let's separate, for he misses the 2 of us. Well, one of my favorite little Southern stories, the one about the little girl that goes out with 3 different fellas, you know, and they finally it comes time to go home, and they drag her all the way to the door, you know, and she turns around to the first fella, and she says, well, now, Captain Fisher, you are from Detroit, you may kiss my right hand. And she said, Mr. Cox, you are from New York, you may kiss my left hand. And she says, George, where are you from? He says, ma'am, I don't rightfully think I'll say. Sort of gets you right there, don't it, there? So come on down to the Cavalier and watch your troubles disappear, because the people, they are so sincere. Oh, and incidentally, any of you folks that like Southern fixins, you want to be sure to stay here tomorrow night. At the main dinner, we have what we call the Southern Special. We start off with some delicious corn pone matzo balls. They just melt in your mouth, They harden in your stomach, but they'll melt in your mouth. Did you ever hear hominy grits do that? The hominy grits and chitlins? Oh, we give you the most delicious dish of Virginia Beach chicken chitlins you ever see in your life. Under glass. That's real Duncan Hines stuff, that is, you know, that's writes all them books, you know, that type of thing. There you go, baby. And the piece de resistance, we feature Southern fried eel. For you damn Yankees, that's Lee spelled backward. Save your Confederate money, boys. South will rise again. South Bend, Indiana. South will rise again.
we'll be back. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks once again. Thank you.